I thought I had things pretty much under control. Things were going well. I thought I had all my I's dotted and T's crossed, had the insurance I needed, had the financial planning I needed long term, had the investments I thought I needed, the retirement. I guess a saying would be, you don't know what you don't know until you know. My name is Dr. Brian Weidler, and this is my wife, Kathy. I bought North Rock Hospital for Animals in 2011, and just recently, in the last several months, 3 months ago, sold the practice. Actually, a good friend of mine, John French, was going through some business transactions of himself buying a new business, and he'd talked to me about Mark and said that I know somebody that I think could be helpful for you. If you'd like to just get down and meet him for lunch and see what he has to say. I have a high opinion of John, and so if it was somebody he recommended, then I knew it was somebody worth talking to. Mark called me within 24 hours and introduced himself and then invited me out to lunch, so I said it's worth a lunch date. So we went out chicken and pickle, and that's how I met Mark. I wasn't even in that mindset that I was getting closer to retirement or that I was thinking about selling the practice. It was kind of in the back of my mind.
I think it was more working towards, like, I'm going to be retiring at some point. What does that need to look like?
Yeah, having somebody that was very well versed, very well experienced, that could kind of guide along that path was very instrumental. And I think he called it a deep dive, going in and looking at kind of our whole life picture, from finances to insurance, et cetera, et cetera. His knowledge base is amazing, and what particularly is beneficial for me is his network of similar-minded people, of integrity and knowledge. He was very helpful in saying, okay, if you don't have a great attorney or you don't have this or that, I know a guy. I know a guy that I trust. And one thing that I've learned about Mark is he is big into accountability, and he expects anybody that works for him is going to be accountable, just like Mark is going to be accountable. And I can trust, or we can trust, that when Mark says he's going to do something, it's going to happen. Mark he called himself, in fact, I remember our first meeting over lunch, calling himself a navigator. He said, you have your airplane, you're flying through life, you're the pilot, but you need a navigator. You need somebody to help you get to your destination. And he said, that's what I do in life. I would say he's gone more from just a navigator for me to a co-pilot, in that he's been my right-hand man the last year. Another great thing that I really appreciate from Mark is he's taken the lead for me. My life has slowed down considerably now, but there for a while, between running the clinic and all that was going on, my days were busy, and I could count on Mark. It just took so much off my shoulders, and I was very confident in what was happening. I had to trust, so I didn't lay awake at night going, gosh, was that the right decision, or is this the right person to hire? I had trust in it, and I'll tell you what, I slept good knowing that I felt like he was in my court at all times, and if something came up, I could pick up a phone, co-pilot, take care of this for me, where he's making those phone calls with my accountant, and he's getting attorneys on the same line. We set up some charitable trust, and it was for, and they had to have all these pieces working together. Like I said, again, the beauty of CoreScore is the networking. It's knowing all these people. And it's hard to find somebody that matches all that, that's got integrity, that you can trust, and that's really good in their fields. Mark's found all those. So I have 100% trust in our financial situation. Not only in are we going to be okay next year and 20 years from now, but are we in the right investments right now? Some of the financial instruments that he's come up with and the investments are things that I've never heard of from other financial advisors. And when I looked into those and I read about them, I learned about them, it's like, why isn't everybody doing this? And it's because of that I have faith in him as a financial advisor. For those business owners out there that think they've got it all figured out, CoreScore can help them. And it might not be things that they realize, okay, I need help with this right now, like me in retirement. And, you know, that's something that wasn't even on the table when I talked to Mark the first time. But as those things happen in your journey, you've got that co-pilot now. You've got that navigator that can help you.
And he's been very aware of, like, the sale of the business, like how that would impact us from all aspects of life, not just like tax-wise, insurance, but like, are we, you know, mentally prepared for how that transition is going to take place?
Keeps you thinking about,
yes,
like I said, things that you might not be thinking about, you know. And I remember when we first had the conversation with retirement, he was zeroing in on how's that going to affect the marriage, you know. Kathy, how are you going to like having Brian around all the time? You know, there's so much more to Mark than just business or finance. It's the whole picture that he brings.
I like that Mark comes to all of our meetings with the approach of how does this fit into God's plan, and one of those things is constantly thinking about, well, what can I do for others, which is kind of a nice thing to be thinking about. Serving.
How can I serve others?
Coming to the table with a servant's heart.
Working through Mark through this whole process has really strengthened my faith, and I don't think when we met at Chicken and Pickle, faith was such a big part of a conversation. And it wasn't until we started spending some time together that I realized it's all about faith. His whole approach to his life and his business and CoreScore is 100% about service and about his faith and about God's plan and about God has us all here for a reason, and are we following that plan? I would say without question, it's the foundation of our relationship. It's not something made up. It's not something that's thrown in your face. It's just there in the background, and you don't even really realize it, but you realize it, and you feel really good about it.
Well, I know that there's going to be, a lot of hunting and fishing. We just have busy kids and busy lives, and it's just nice having help with that.
It's been so nice being around for all that. Just being around. But he did make a comment that rung very true with me. He said, you know how many times the word retirement is in the Bible? You're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. You're going to find out what that is. But God has a plan for you, and it's not, retirement is not in the Bible. So it's like opening up a window and a fresh breeze coming into your house. You're ready for that next stage. And I really think about that where I'm at right now. I am ready. That window's open and that breeze feels good, and I'm enjoying the next chapter, whatever that way may be, and I'm not sure what that chapter is, but Mark's going to help me get there.
When you think of retire, you think of no responsibilities, which is not the case, so I think it's a...
She is the full-time CEO of the Weidler family, and the Weidler family would have crashed and burned years ago without Kathy. She has recently stepped back from, she used to work part-time, and just recently she's cut back. And that was just, last week when you kind of stepped away from the part-time.
Yep.
So you're in the same position I am of finding out what our new role, what that breeze is going to look like.
Mostly just, I think I remember bringing the kids in here when they were little and painting walls and things like that. So nothing major, just helping here and there when I needed to. So
it was major in that I knew I could leave the house in the morning, stay here all day long, and come home, and things were being taken care of. So it was major. I would say if there's anybody running a business, there's a value in CoreScore that can help them out. We all need help along the journey. Anybody running a business, and anybody, period, in life, but particularly somebody running a business, needs good consultation. People that are good at what they do and can help them along those paths. He called himself a navigator, or I'd say navigator/co-pilot, but you can't pigeonhole him saying, okay, he's a financial advisor, he's this advisor. He's just a navigator. He's a co-pilot to kind of help you get to your destination, but get there safely and with purpose.